Alright everyone, my name is Nathan. This is going to be our 10th fight review. This is going to be a first to 5 and amp guard between Selena on the left here and Angus on the right with the board. I tried to record this video, got interrupted by another social call, so we're going to re-record this. Let's get it started. Quick gear checks. We have Angus using a slightly on the larger side round shield. I believe this is like around 28 to 30 inches, maybe. Sal with the 2-stick, and it looks like all their weapons are within a couple inches of the same
Angus
length of
v.
each
Sal,
other.
Sal v. Angus. Amp guard.
Hopefully, I can get through this without being distracted again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Angus getting. Yep, Sal's left hand comes in here. And is going to pick up the first shot on Angus, just on his forearm there. And then Angus is still kind of has a sword in the way, soaks a second shot there, and correctly calls dead. Yeah, and I was just chatting with Angus about this on Messenger, because he was watching some of the other footage I have, like he was watching the other footage I had recorded yet before this, and he said he was noticing how long his arm is staying out, and like that is a thing, and also something I want to look at is this slot right here. Like imagine this is the edge of your shield. It's my personal belief that unless you have a plan, like you're trying to set up a bait or something, or you're trying to cheat like some range advantage somewhere, if this is the edge of your shield, your sword hand should be somewhere within like 6 to 8, maybe like 10 inches of it, because the wider you go out, the bigger of a slot you're going to open up for shots that are going to travel upwards here, like maybe money and dark sides, for straight slots, straight down. But yeah, tags the forearm, hits the same hand, the dead hand,
One
and
Sal as
gets
you block
the
with your
the
arm.
double
Okay.
limb death there.
One all.
Yeah. Oh, give me just a second. It looks like Angus is just landing a really clean, nice and clean stab there. Okay. We can just take a look at it just because,
The dead arm. Okay.
again, it's always like important, I think, to just gear check lefties, see what speed they're moving at. And sometimes just throw a fucking like straight stab straight down the center line. I want to note the form that Angus is in right now, where he has drugged the edge of his shield to cover his striking arm, and this is good. I think that the shield's by like maybe 10 inches to a foot too far forward. Like maybe we kind of want this shield edge at this moment in time to be a little bit farther back, because remember this hand from the wrist down is going to be not an illegal striking zone. So the reason that I think this could be a potential issue, and obviously now the reason that this could be a potentially bad thing to get used to doing is if Sal was more in front of Angus and not here, like kind of going around heading and like not heading but in this like sector, this leftish sector, this rightish sector for Angus, then this shield side shoulder could be open. If she was like directly in front of Angus or moving around his shield side, if you drag your shield this much, if they catch the block, they're gonna hit you in the top of the body and kill you. Or so you might just get killed, you might trade death to death, but gets paid off here. And I just want to like
One all.
look at the
One
shield
all.
extension in slow motion to really get a feel for how much this shield is moving, because you can't tell that much from a still frame. Oh, excuse me, I accidentally went through to the next fight. This is the next fight. Okay, here we go. So let's watch how far this shield actually moves throughout this motion. Remember, you want your like if you're a robot, you don't want your shield going past your wrist line, in my opinion. If you're using your shield to cover a stab like this. Yeah, has the shield so far in front of his hand, right there. It gets knocked. Yeah. And so again, Angus is not like me who's only really fought shield for, God, getting close to 2 decades. Angus fights a lot of different things. A lot of the things his body does, like if you watch Angus's body, I think what his body is doing is pretty correct throughout this. If you just ignore what that shield hand is, the shield arm is doing, just a little bit too much movement over.
Uh, 1-all.
I think somebody just set off fireworks outside of my room. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that.
Tradesies.
Yeah, it looks like death trade there. Yeah, Sal able to pick up this shot on the back of Angus's arm, going into the back. You have Angus going for. I think Angus, if you do watch this, another thing to kind of correct these crossing quadrant shots here. This actually might be the killing blow right here to the front of the shoulder. But these cross quadrant shots, when you're going like high and in front of your shield, can be pretty dangerous, like in general, and also against flow fighters specifically. Let me get my cursor back over here. And then I believe this is actually the killing blow. Yeah, it looks like Sal hits Angus maybe right on the line. It looks like this sword might be actually hitting the line of the arm line of where this would be an arm shot, and it's actually the flexion that's hitting the back. But millimeters and shit.
Tradesies. 1-all.
Again, Angus doing this thing that he'll do where he'll use steps like this, just suddenly a little bit of a
1-all.
faster step to try to simulate response. If you're one of these fighters who finds yourself flailing a lot of useless shots trying to initiate an interaction, one of the things you can do is just use your footwork and use your body to try to draw out the opening shot from your opponent. We got Angus trying for that here. Doesn't work. And then I don't know if this was the plan, but this naturally flows into the attempted spin shot. That same little like footwork fake. And let's really take a look at this spin here. We'll look at what Sal's doing in a second. It looks like this comes in low. This is kind of one of those blind spins. In fact, it might be picking up hip, but like the first glance of contact I see looks like thigh right here. And meanwhile, Sal seems to be also maybe hitting the thigh to hip region. Let's see how our fighters call this.
Okay. That's Sal. So that's 2-1
Yeah, looks like Angus got picked up mid-spin, hitting Sal in the leg.
to Sal. Okay, 2-all.
What happened here? Was that a garb issue? One of my favorite things to do is to look at unset up shots. I know in a perfect world we're all supposed to set up our shots beautifully and like train our opponent's brain and shit. But why is it what is Angus doing and what is Angus doing right here and what is Sal doing wrong here that allows this shot to land in a lethal zone? And I believe that if we look at Sal's hand, when Angus begins to swing, she tenses this left arm, begins to move it down, but not far enough. Why isn't this hand moving? Well, we could just say, like, oh, well, the flow fighter is slow and bad. But I think that this little, like, dip motion behind the shield, the fact that, like, Angus's hand doesn't change in altitude very much, it kind of stays on, Like, this is probably the middle point of the glide path. Like, it kind of stays in this general height. Again, good drag on the shield by Angus to cover up that arm. It looks like he's leaving his hand a bit more free. Look how much more freely this shot comes forward and doesn't knock the shield because it's in the way. Yeah, and so dropping that hand lower would have helped. Projecting Sal's left-hand sword here out a bit more would have helped. I think the further you go out, the less you have to drop it because you might have a chance to interdict this sword a little bit higher.
To Sal.
Yeah, just not enough of a response from Sal, and I don't know if that's a speed issue, a processing issue, or if perception, maybe just not seeing that weapon behind Angus's shield. Sal going for the dark side, kind of a Sal's not a very big flaily fighter. These feel flaily. These feel like maybe a little bit of frustration is taking hold. This is decent. Good angle getting it under the shield. Rough range. And again, in a past video of Sal, this arm crunching into the body, where it has to do the most movement to block a shot, instead of being nice and projected, where you can move very small amounts to get good blocking. If you're going to be throwing this reverse wrap, you're going to be wanting to be stepping in to make sure you get the range, if you're wanting to hit with this. And if you're stepping in to get the range, and you're going to want to be using this sword a little bit more projected to be interrupting. And again, another little like low committal shot, kind of a flail. I even said in the last video I did on Sal, I believe, that I would like to see more flat wraps because, this is just a no-value shot that's trying to maybe start an engagement. But even this could be a flat wrap and just be more threatening, trying to land on top of the body of Angus's shoulder or maybe like on the tricep. But once again, we're seeing like as Sal is throwing, as she is throwing, this hand is coming back. This hand is coming back. You want to make sure you're staying nice and out and projected with your flow guard. In fact, if we back it up a little bit, it looks like Sal's hand never really gets projected throughout this fight so far. Yeah, so no projection yet. Hard to see the leg shot there. I think it was right there at the very end before I jumped back. Yeah, it's hard to see what happens there. It looks like Angus is going for something kind of like a money and ends up getting a leg. Cleaning it up again, either that's coming into the groin, the body, or the arm. Hard to see that one.
Yeah.
This video is already 13 minutes long. I gotta hurry it up. Alright, Angus, we gotta talk about this one. You and I were talking right before I started recording this video about fighting with your arm outside your shield. Boom, buddy. Elbow cocks up. Chicken wing presents. Clears the edge of the shield. Cranks out with a nice fast shot, but just poor mechanically getting interdicted there. Or getting stopped there in the middle of the strike. Maybe still getting this off in time. I don't know if this is past like the neutral plane between the two fighters. Possibly trade death for death here. Let's see how the fighters call it.
Is that a trade?
It looked like a trade to me.
So is that 3-all or is that 4-2, Angus? I can't remember.
We get some confusion here. We decide to just keep it at start it at 3-3, I believe, because we kind of lost the count there. Yeah, I was kind of waiting for this to happen all day.
You guys fight and you got good instincts, like hauling in to help out teammates.
Me talking to some other newer fighters.
Yep.
Be quiet, cameraman.
Teamwork and call-outs work in foam fighting too. Call-outs work in.
So, I like this idea of going for this forearm. Probably doesn't need to be a high cross. You can step in to get a lot more like range and dark side and come up high and come into forearms. You can go behind the top of your shield and come in for forearms. This right here, real dangerous. They're both fortunate they didn't get hit there, Sal and Angus. I think they both had windows where they could have gotten robbed. And again, fighting outside of the shield. Arm way out extended. And then looking like we're starting to spin, but why?
Getting flanked and just screaming, "We need the jungler!" So it's going to be 4-3 Angus.
Angus able to pick up the double arm there to seal it up anyway.
4-3 Angus.
And again, like his body is so mobile and fast. He's a hard guy to punish for his little slops when they do occur.
That's going to be 5-3 Angus, right? Right. That's going to be 5-3 Angus, right?
I think that there's some confusion that happens here with Angus wondering if he got hit in the leg and the arm simultaneously. And they eventually figure out, Sal's basically trying to tell him, like, well, yeah, probably just the leg shot was good, but I'm dead, but I'm dead, but I'm dead. And Angus is like, yeah, but you got me in the leg, so I'll start here. And Sal's like, no, you killed me. But that's it, man. That's fight review number 10. Thanks for watching.